Welcome to Sourish Tech Savvy. Welcome to the land of CSS. I think you have already learned HTML. If not, then you can click on the I button on the top right corner to watch my HTML series. Now then, let's start. CSS or Cascading Style Sheet is used for styling HTML files. If you have looked at our HTML files from the starting of our tutorials, it looks very bland. So CSS is just to do that, to fix the blandness of our HTML files. First, let's make a file with the name style.css. If you can see, the extension for the file is .css. If it doesn't work for you, if you're on Windows and you don't have view file extensions on, you just open File Explorer, View, Show File Extensions. Next, let's make a file with the name index.html. Now before we start coding, there's a better editor I could prefer to use other than brackets, which has ended support. If you have been following my HTML tutorial, you might have known brackets. Its support has ended. So there's another better text editor. If you have a better editor like Sublime Text that you paid for and doesn't have the trial version of it, then you can skip to the timestamp shown. It's called Visual Studio Code. To install it, go to code.visualstudio.com, click on the big download button and follow the prompts shown when you run the executable or DMG file based on your operating system. Now that you have Visual Studio Code installed, let's go open the index.html in Visual Studio Code and generate some boilerplate using exclamation mark. Now before we start coding in our CSS, we have to link the CSS to our HTML file. To do that, we will type in link:/CSS. Using emmet, it will automatically do the rest of the code that we have to type. And as you can see here, it's showing us link. The type is CSS and the name's file is pointing to style.css. So now let's go to the CSS file and start writing some code for CSS. Let me first show you the structure of CSS. This is the structure of CSS as you can see. Up here is body, that's the selector. It selects the tag names, ID or class. If you don't know what class is, it's just an attribute that you add to a tag to define it in CSS or JavaScript. And ID is also the same. Inside of the curly braces is where the code to change the tag goes in. So the thing I want to do now is to change the color of the body to red. So what we are doing is going to change the background color to red. So to do that, background/color : red semicolon. Semicolon is used to end a line in CSS. Now you can see that our body is now the color red. Now I'm going to go back to our HTML file and write some text. Example, I'm just going to use lorem ipsum because I can use emmet to write a lot of text. So I'm going to do lorem 1-2, which is 12. So it's going to now generate 12 words of dummy text. Now let's go to the CSS file and add a code of line to the body's code as color : light blue semicolon. As you can see, the text that we had before is now in the color light blue. And notice that in mind, these are just the basics. There's a lot more that we have to cover. So thanks for watching. Do all the things that YouTubers say. Subscribe, like, and yeah, whatever. This was the only view I could get. Do not get a trashy place.